All right, welcome and good morning to Storytime, everyone. Sorry for the late start. We've had some stuff going on to get things going this morning, but we have a very special guest author that's going to read some books for us, and she is a children's book author. Raise your hand if you know what an author does.
There you go.
What does an author do? How about the girl with the flamingo shirt on? What does an author do? Can you say it really loud? Can you say it really loud on the microphone?
Writes books.
You are right, an author writes books. And this author, her name is Rhonda Berkeley, and she has some books that she's written that she's going to share with you today. But before I let her take over the story time, I want to tell you about some super cool digital programs that just started this week. There's 2 different ones, and they are about Australia. And one of them is called Tales and Tales, and it talks about animals and music and the people from Australia, and it is super fun to watch, and it's really cool because you can dance and sing along to the video, and it's really fun. And then the other one is about making a didgeridoo, and that is an Australian instrument, and it's really fun to watch that one too. So if you go on our website and check it out, it's available. So I will let Rhonda take over and start. There we go. Let's give Rhonda a big welcome.
Oh, thanks everybody. Am I on? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you everybody. How are you? I'm so happy that it's a nice day because I didn't want to get wet out here today. But I am so excited to be here. And oh my goodness, hello. You know, I recognize my friend's dog, not my friend back there. Hello everybody, my name is Rhonda and I am an author. I'm so excited to say that. I wrote my book, it's called Woofy Toofy. And Woofy Toofy is about a little girl and her friend Woofy. I'm gonna read that one, and I'm gonna read you a couple of others because I was hoping my second book, which is the sequel to Woofy Toofy, would be ready, but it's gonna be ready in about 2 weeks. So that's pretty cool. So then I'm gonna read a couple other books, and if you guys wanna have questions or something, about being an author, about books or whatever, if we have a couple of minutes, then you're welcome to do that, because that's the most fun for me. All right, you ready to hear about Woofy?
Yep.
Everybody's ready to hear about Woofy? Okay. All right. You usually hold it. Can any of you guys see this if I hold it up, or should I just read it? Read it. Okay, all right. Once upon a time, can you see him? Okay, good. Yeah, I thought so. Once upon a time, there was a tiny candy store way up in the north woods of Minnesota. And in that store lived a little gray wolf, high up on the back of an old dusty shelf. And every night when the lady in the store put out the close sign and went home, the wolf and all the other animals jumped down and had playtime. It was their favorite time of the day, except, of course, on the special days when one of them would be chosen for their forever home. A soft tabby cat named Meow Meow and Hopper the frog started a game of tag. Even Tucker the painted turtle and Freddie the guppy fish played. Little Wolf, aren't you playing today? Said Freddie. Look at how sad he is. He wasn't playing. No thanks, said the wolf, and the wolf pup was very sad, for he had lived on that dusty old shelf, squeezed behind all the other toys for a long, long time. And many other animals came and went while he was never ever picked. Even Digger the lobster found his forever home. He was so lonely, and he wanted his own little person to play with and love. He could just imagine the fun they would have together. And so he waited, and he waited, and he waited. Meow Meow the cat liked to tease the little wolf. Gray Wolf, she said, you have been here forever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah, Harry the Hedgie chimed in. No one can even see you behind all the rest of us. Aw, come on, you guys, said Pooch, the fluffy yellow dog. Leave poor little gray wolf alone. And therefore they did. I was just kidding him, replied Harry. Sorry, dude. It's okay, said the wolf. I know you didn't mean it. And just when he thought the store would be his forever home, an amazing thing happened. One sunny spring day, after it had just stopped raining, the front door of the shop jingled. A little girl with bright yellow pigtails bounced in right behind her mama and dad. She was smiling from ear to ear. This is the best trip ever, she exclaimed to her parents. I love it here. Oh man, the little gray wolf thought, her family just stopped in for treats. So he curled up in a ball where he had been napping and went back to sleep. And he slept, and he slept, and he slept, and he slept. And he was dreaming about playing outside in the woods because that's where he liked to be. Mama, I want that one, he woke to hear. Not that one, that one. Scoopies, are you sure, my love? Look at this crazy cute froggy, said the mama. You love frogs. He's so cute. Nope, I'm positively positive, said the girl. He needs a home with us. Whoop. All right, page is stuck there. Sorry, my pages are stuck together there. All right. And suddenly, do you know what happened? The little gray wolf felt himself moving. Wait, what was happening? Was he dreaming? He was slowly being lifted down from the shelf from way up high in the back and placed in the little girl's arms. She smelled like sunshine and like chocolate chip cookies, and it was the best feeling ever. Oh, what a cute little wolfie, said the little girl. The pup could not believe his ears. Was she talking about him? Please, 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 can we take him home? She begged. Riley, you have so many other stuffed toys at home, her dad replied. How about some hot air candy or some fudge or some chocolate or something? Daddy, if I can have this, I will never, ever, 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 ever ask for any treats ever again. I promise. And the gray wolf's heart started to leap. He saw the mama talk to the dad. The dad chuckled and turned toward the little blonde girl who was still holding him tight. Oh, well, he said, then I guess we better take him home. Oh, thank you, said Riley. The little gray wolf felt like crying. He was so happy. And then the little girl with the bouncy blonde pigtails and a big smile on her face did something amazing. I am going to name him Wolfie, she said. We will have lots of adventures and I will love him forever. Wolfie, the mama asked. Yep, said Riley as she gave him a smooch. He will always be my Woofy Toofy. And the little girl with the blonde pigtails and the stuffed gray wolf became fast friends. She tucked him under her armpit, and together Riley and Wolfie walked out of the store in the woods and on to their next adventure, for there would be many, many adventures to come. And that's the end of that one. And guess what? Their next adventure is all in a new book, and that's coming out pretty soon too. Where do you think they're going next? Don't know? You guys have to wait and see, don't you? I'm going to donate this book to the library here in Hutchinson, and I'm so excited that I can do that because I love this library. I'm here all the time. So I hope that you guys can read it again and again and again. And when the next book comes out, I'll let them know, and then I will donate that one as well. Because the next time they're going on a big airplane adventure. And do you want to know what's really cool? This is a true story. What's a what? You have a question? No, it's all right. It's all right. Yep, this is a true story of my daughter when she was very little. And you know what? She still has Wolfie today. Today, Wolfie went on a road trip, and Wolfie lives in New York City with her today. So it's pretty cool. He's had lots of adventures with her. So I hope you love this book. And now I get to read another one, and I'm going to read another book, and it's my friend Luke's book. You guys ready? Ready for the next one? Okay. All right. All right. This is my friend Luke's first book, and whoops, oh man, whoa, I'm coming undone here. Technical difficulties. Look at all my wires. It's all good, it's good. Look at my shorts again. All right, Ollie's Snowy Day. And this is also about Minnesota, because we all know there's no snow in Minnesota, right? No, there's lots of snow in Minnesota. Okay. All right, Ollie's Snowy Day by Luke Walford. Ollie the ostrich and his neighbor Chloe the koala work together every season to keep all the animals warm at Buffalo Creek. Do you know where Buffalo Creek is? You do? It's by Glencoe, isn't it? That's pretty close by here. Chloe knitted the warmest, softest, and most colorful scarves in her treehouse. It was Ollie's job to make sure the scarves then got delivered to every animal in Buffalo Creek before the first snow of the season. And since he owned the best truck in town, Ollie always made his deliveries on time. It was time. The first snow was coming. Chloe finished her last batch of scarves as Ollie looked over his truck and made sure his oil was changed. His gas tank was gassed and all the bolts were tight. And after Ollie packed up the last scarf, he yelled up to Chloe, "Good night, Chloe." "Good night, Ollie. Happy delivery." And as Ollie closed his door, he saw the first snowflakes fall, and he knew it would be a very busy morning. As Ollie and Chloe slept, the snow started to fall a little bit more, and then a little bit more after that. And finally, a little more turned into a lot more snow. So he asked Chloe if she knew what to do. She offered to call the animals and ask if they could come and pick up their scarves. But in the meantime, Ollie started to dig and dig and dig and dig. But when Chloe called Jessa the jumping frog, she said she couldn't jump high enough to get through the snow. Oh no, Charlie the chameleon was too teeth-chattering cold, and Maggie the mouse said the snow was way too heavy to tunnel through. But when Chloe called Emma the eagle, she told her that she couldn't leave her babies alone in the nest. And Brookie the bear was already sleeping, so she didn't hear the phone. So Chloe leaned out to Ollie and said, "Hey, Ollie, we'll just have to deliver the scarves ourselves." And first Ollie and Chloe tried to carry the boxes, but they were way too big and heavy. And next, Ollie took out his sled, but it kept tipping over. Ollie and Chloe thought about it then, though. And then they thought about it some more. And finally, Chloe wrapped every scarf around herself and every scarf around Ollie. Look at that. Isn't that silly? They've got like 30 scarves wrapped around them. All right, what happens? So she held on tight and he took off running. "Hang on, everyone. Here come Chloe and Ollie to save the day." The first stop was Charlie the chameleon's coffee tree. Chloe climbed into the middle of it and wrapped Charlie up nice and warm. And next, Ollie and Chloe stopped at Emma's tree, and Chloe climbed up to Emma's nest and gave a bunch of scarves to Emma the eagle. "I'll keep your babies warm, Emma, if you can bring these to Brookie the bear," Chloe said, as Emma flew off into the mountains. And as Chloe kept the eagle eggs nice and warm, Ollie ran off to meet Maggie the mouse and Jessa the jumping frog. Ollie stuck his head into Maggie's burrow, and all of Maggie's family helped to pass the rest of the scarves to each other and over to Jessa. As Ollie and Chloe headed back to their homes, they thought about their friends in Buffalo Creek and smiled because they knew each of them was as snug as a bug and would be warm all winter. When a very tired Ollie and Chloe went back to their homes, Chloe had a surprise for her great friend Ollie. It was the longest, puffiest, and warmest scarf Chloe had ever made. Want to see it? Look at that. That would keep an ostrich warm, wouldn't it? And that's the end of that one. What'd you think of that one? It was pretty good, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. Do I have time for more? Yippee! Yeah, they're all like, yay, yeah. Okay. All right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read one more book my friend Luke wrote, and this one is called Pickles, Pickles Everywhere, and this is his brand new book. That's teamwork right there. Pickles, Pickles Everywhere is Luke's brand new book, and it just came out, and we're so excited for him. What do you think Pickles Everywhere is about? Pickles. Yeah, it's about pickles. Very good. Ruby the rhino loved pickles, and she loved the Pickle Festival, the most exciting time of the year. There were pickle races, pickle hat contests, and a pickle parade where all the floats threw out pickles instead of candy. Ha! How silly is that? For this year's Pickle Festival, Mayor Sparkles had made a special announcement. Everyone in Dill Valley would vote and nominate a pickle president of the world. The pickle president of the world, of course, would honor and promote pickles everywhere. Ruby had always dreamed of building a pickle float and entering in the pickle parade. Ruby wondered if anyone would vote for her. Ruby was the only rhino in Dill Valley, and while she found her horn quite beautiful, it did cause a little confusion. The flamingos like to use her horn as a hat rack, and the raccoons always asked if they could use it to make orange juice. What? And the jackrabbits even tried to use Ruby's horn to play ring toss. Ring toss, but most animals would just point, and it isn't very nice to point, Ruby thought. So Ruby the rhino did fit in with all the others in one way. She loved pickles. Who likes pickles here? Oh yeah, everybody loves pickles, right? All right, she would eat pickles for breakfast, for lunch, she would eat pickles for dinner. And sometimes she'd wake up in the middle of the night and then she would have more pickles for a snack. Every day, Ruby's friend Ollie the ostrich stopped by with fresh pickles for Ruby, as well as to help out with building her parade float. This is so much fun. I've always wanted to have a float for the parade, Ruby exclaimed. And we're almost there, Ruby, Ollie said as they finished twirling the ribbons around the rainbow and pickle forest. It just needs a few final touches and it will be ready for the festival. The next day, as Ollie was hooking up the float to his truck, Mayor Sparkles came by with some bad news. Sorry, Ruby and Ollie, but I've heard there's a problem at the Dilly-O Pickle Factory, and it looks like there won't be any pickles for a long time. It sounds like the Pickle Festival is going to be canceled this year, too. Well, what am I going to do without pickles? Ruby asked. Let's go find out why they are in a pickle, Ollie said, grabbing all of his tools. So Ruby hopped into Ollie's truck and they headed off to the Dilly-O Pickle Factory. Bang! Whirr! When Ruby and Ollie arrived, they heard some really loud noises. And they slowly opened the door, and there, before them, was a huge, scary figure in the dark. Everybody see that? That's pretty big, isn't it? What's going on at that pickle factory? Ollie turned on the light, startling Peg the narwhal, who started to teeter on the ladder of the pickle tank, and then fell in with a big sploosh. Help! I'm being pickled, Peg yelled as she sloshed around in the pickle. Ollie threw a rope to Peg, and then Ruby pulled her out. Ruby stared and pointed because she had never met another animal with a horn. Never, ever. Hi, I'm Peg, and of course I have a horn. I'm a narwhal, and isn't it nice to point? Peg said. How may I help you? I love pickles more than anything, Ruby said, and we have to have pickles for the Pickle Festival. Peg showed them to the pickle machine, which was backed up to the sky with pickles. The pickle machine is going to explode if we can't get the pickles through the chute soon. And after taking a look at the pickle machine, Ollie asked, have you tried hitting it with a stick? Yes, like 500 times, Peg exclaimed. Well, I'm out of ideas then, said Ollie. Thinking hard about how to solve the festival's pickle problem, Ruby asked, what if we slice up the pickles and to fit them through the bottom of the chute? Well, pickle my fancy, said Peg. I never thought of that. We have always made whole pickles, and that's how it's always been. And just then, the pickle tank made a huge rambling sound. We'll just have to try it and put our heads together to save the factory. So Ruby and Peg put their horns under the chute to slice up all the pickles. That's pretty silly, isn't it? Yeah. So then Ollie jumped on top of the pickle pile, and there was a loud crunch. The tank grew and grew and grew and rumbled and rumbled. And all the animals stared as they drove up to the town hall, with pickles piled high as the eye could see, because they had done it. Whoop. My pages are all stuck again. There we go. Mayor Sparkles tipped his hat to them. Then all the animals gasped and pointed. "It's just not polite to point," said the mayor. And next, little Lyle Renson picked up a pickle and put it on his head like a horn. The mayor scraped his hoof on the ground and proclaimed, "Pickle Festival is saved, thanks to Ruby, Ollie, and Peg. Now let's all enjoy this delicious day." And with that, the pickle parade kicked off. And they all wanted horns, didn't they? Ruby, Peg, and the mayor showered the crowd with pickle horns, and they rode on Ruby's float. And Mayor Sparkles thanked Ruby for giving him the courage to be himself and not hide what makes him unique and amazing. At the end of the day, the town awarded Ruby the honor of Pickle President of the World. And as much as Ruby liked that idea, she gave the honor to Peg the narwhal, since she was the only one to swim with the pickles after all. What do you think? There's a lot of pickles in that story, wasn't there? You should have told me it was a tongue twister. Okay, I'm walking.
Okay.
All right. And do I have time for one more?
Do we want to take questions?
Yeah. Does anybody have questions about my book? Go ahead.
Did you draw the pictures?
I did not draw the pictures. A very talented, wonderful girl named Elaine Kennedy drew the pictures. And what's really cool about Lane is she's 17 years old. And she did all the illustrating for me. She's very talented. She just graduated from high school. But she doesn't want to do it for a living because then she said it wouldn't be fun anymore. I'm like, are you sure about that, Lane? You're pretty good. So, yep, I just gave her the words and she brought it all to life. You have a question. What was that, hon? How did I write it? How did she do it? Well, she starts with a piece of paper and some colored pencils. Actually, some sketch pencils, and then she fills it in. Just like you guys would draw your own pictures. Pretty cool, huh? How about you? Do you have one back there, bud? You have a question? That's okay. If you think of it, you tell me. How about anybody else? Who's got questions? Back there. How did I write the words? Well, I will tell you what happened was when I started looking at all the pictures of my daughter when she was little, because she got Woofy when she was 2 years old and now she's almost 24. Just about every picture she had Woofy in it tucked under her armpit, just like in the book. And I thought, this would kind of make a good story. So I started writing down all the memories I had of her and Woofy together. And the first book that came out was all of our memories of her and Woofy and how they met. So that's how I wrote it. And the second book is all the memories, and she and I wrote it together. We put all the ideas down of when we took a big trip across the sea to a place called Europe. Have you guys heard of Europe? That's where Woofy went with us. He went to see the Queen. He met the Queen in London. Let's see what else. He's going to go to Scotland and do some dancing with bagpipes. He's going to go to Greece. And you guys will just have to check out the book when the library gets it, right? Yeah. So Woofy's Big Adventure is coming soon. Other questions? I missed one back there. Oh, right here. Got it? One?
Do you handwrite the books or do you
I tell you what I do because I love paper and I love pens and I love paper, and that's how I started out. I scratched down all my ideas on note paper. I have notepads and note papers all over my house, all over my office, which is right across the street because I work right here in town usually. I have notepads in my car. I have notepads next to my bed, in my kitchen, everywhere I go, and I scratch out all my ideas, and that's how I start. And then after that, what happens is I type them all up. And when I have them all typed up how I want, I send them to my editor. And does everybody know what an editor does? Yeah, an editor makes them so they're all nice and pretty, and then gives you good ideas, and then sends it back to you. And then you say, yep, I like that, or nope, I don't like that. And then the two of you together kind of make it so it's a really good story. So that's how that starts. And then the next process is, as long as I'm going at it, because I know this question will come, then the pictures come, and then you have to find someone to put it all together in a book. And finally, when it looks just like how I want it to look, and all the pictures come and all the words come and they put them together in the book, and it's called a layout, then it finally goes to be published. So it's kind of a long process. The first book took me from June last year till December last year. So it's pretty fun. Way in the back. How many books have I written? This is my first one. My second one will be out that are published. I have many, many books at home sitting there waiting for me to do something with. I'll be real honest with you. So look for those to come out too, right? You have a question here? Are you just stretching? Stretching's good. Does anybody else have questions? Right there, sorry. Do you want to think about it a couple minutes? Okay, for sure. All right, who else has questions? Okay, right here. Did you think of it? Do you have a question? Okay. Do you want to ask me? Okay. Oh, that I will have to ask the librarian about. Do you know?
Not offhand, because Pioneerland has 32 libraries and we all share all the books together. So it's thousands and thousands and thousands.
She asked how many books are in the library.
I can look it up and tell you next week though. Do you want me to do that? Okay.
All right, that's awesome. She's going to look it up and tell
I
you.
will look it up.
I actually would be curious to know that myself. She stumped you.
She did, yeah. I haven't looked at the numbers in a long time. So.
And now there's one more. There will be, yeah.
Yep.
You have a question? They are for sale. You can buy them on Amazon if you want, if you just want to go the quick route. I have them for sale over at the Hutchinson Arts Center. There are signed copies in the gift shop there that are for sale for, I think, $10. You can always get a hold of me, and I work in Hutch. I live in Glencoe. I'm happy to drop you off copies. I have some along actually in my car if you want one. Yeah, just get a hold of me. Otherwise, also out at the Lamb Shop, and there's copies. So far, so good. So yeah, you can find them. Otherwise, find me on Facebook, and I'm happy. Just message me. I am absolutely happy to get you a copy. So, who else has questions? Oh, did we get them? We might have gotten them all. All right. Songs? What should we do? What time is it?
It is 10:35, so we'll wrap it up for today. Let's give Rhonda a really big
Oh,
round
thank
of
you,
applause.
everybody.
Those are really great books.
Those are fun books,
Thank you
yes.
so much for coming out today. And we will see you next week out here for story time again.
Have fun, everybody. Read a lot.
Bye.